The Belmont Report was crafted in 1979 as an ethical framework to help resolve the difficult problems which occur when doing research that involves human subjects. But before studying the Belmont Report, it's important to understand the reason that it was created. In 1932, scientists from the U.S. Public Health Service began studying the effects of syphilis on about 400 African American sharecroppers in Georgia. 11 years later, in 1943, this public health service began handing out penicillin to treat syphilis. But the researchers decided to withhold the antibiotic from the sharecroppers in their study because they saw the black men as subjects, not patients. The men in this study continued to suffer and die from syphilis for almost 30 years before a whistleblower leaked the story to the press in 1972. The nation was outraged, and the U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare realized that researchers needed a set of ethical guidelines and principles to protect human subjects. That set of ethical guidelines and principles is known as the Belmont Report. First, the Belmont Report lays out 3 basic ethical principles: respect for persons, beneficence, and justice. Let's take these one at a time. Respect for persons has 2 distinct moral requirements. First, that the autonomy or independence of each person is recognized. Second, that persons with diminished autonomy are protected, such as those people who are not able to make informed decisions for themselves, such as the mentally challenged, or people that are not independent and free to make their own decisions, like prisoners. The second ethical principle is beneficence. This word typically includes acts of charity, but in this case is talking about obligation. For the Belmont Report, 2 obligations. First, do no harm. Second, maximize all available benefits and minimize any risk of damage. The third and final principle is justice. Justice is concerned with fairly balancing who benefits and who carries the burdens of research. Now, the Belmont Report connects each of these 3 ethical principles to a particular application. First, informed consents are required to ensure respect for persons. On consent forms, test subjects are clearly provided with all relevant information, like risks and balance and benefits, and alternative procedures. These consent forms also explain in plain language that acting as a test subject is voluntary. Second, an assessment of research must be performed to make certain that benefits outweigh risks. In other words, to make sure that beneficence is upheld. One step of this assessment is to check and see if the research can be performed without using humans at all, thereby neutralizing any possible risks. Third, an assessment of research must be performed to make sure that research subjects are chosen fairly. In other words, to ensure that justice is served. This assessment attempts to protect not only individuals, but also groups of people whose society may have a bias against. For example, the African American sharecroppers in the 1932 experiment. And so we've come full circle. Thanks to the Belmont Report, respect for persons is protected with informed consent, beneficence with the assessment of risks and benefits, and justice with the assessment of test subject selection.